everyone, welcome to our channel, Rebecca Stew and the Crew. I'm Rebecca, and today is Thursday, so we're going to be doing a Dollar Tree DIY. We'll be making some tinted glass that we will decorate. So let's go over our supplies first. So from Dollar Tree, we're going to use a bunch of different various glass pieces. They have these mason jars out right now that we're going to use. They also have these square votives. You can get some decorative jars, and then they even have these candle holders out right now. So then we're going to be using just some basic food coloring, and we'll also need some of the glossy Mod Podge. We'll need some alcohol and gloves, some aluminum foil sheets, and you'll also need like a cookie sheet, and you can even use a cooling rack, some paper towels. You need something to stir with, and then you'll need something to stir the Mod Podge in. I'm just going to use some disposable cups. We'll need a tiny bit of water and a measuring spoon. I'm going to be using a teaspoon. And then if you look online, you can get these different charts that show you how to mix the food coloring to get different colors. And then I'm going to use some different glass stickers from the Dollar Tree. I picked out these two. I will use some adhesive pearl wrap and just some different decorative rhinestone stickers that they have out. So really any sticker or any way you want to decorate your jars, up to you. You can even just leave them plain. I'm also going to use a little bit of glitter, and so we will need some masking tape, a paintbrush. You could use hot glue if you need it to attach anything to your jar. We'll need some scissors, and then if you don't want to use the cooling rack to drain your jars, you could use some wood sticks. You'll also need some twine if you would like to use that to decorate your jar as well. So let's get crafty. So the first thing that we want to do, which is very important, is you want to take your paper towel and the alcohol, and you want to wipe the whole thing down really well to get any fingerprints or residue, any glue from any stickers or anything that were on it when you purchased it. You want to make sure you get that off. I'm even going to use some different jars that I upcycled from like pasta sauce. So just make sure you dry your jars really well and make sure you get all of the moisture out of the jar. Now we're going to pour about 2 ounces of Mod Podge in a small mixing container. Again, I'm just going to use these Dixie cups and then start adding some of my food coloring. So I added a little bit of blue here. It was 3 drops of blue and 1 drop of red to make like a light purple color. And it's really funny because you really aren't 100% sure at first what color this is going to turn out. It looks very blue, but when we were done, it looked a whole another color. Then we're going to add just 1 teaspoon of water to thin it out. Now, if you think your Mod Podge is thin enough, if it's not a real old bottle that's laying around, you might not have to thin it out. Just kind of play it by ear. So then we're just going to dump that into our jar now that we have it mixed really well. And we're going to very slowly just twirl this around and try to get all of the pieces of the jar covered. You want to try to get the inside of the lip of the jar done as well. Just kind of tap on it, work your way around, and get it covered the best that you can. If you need to mix a little bit more, go ahead and do that, but just be mindful of how large your jar is. 2 ounces is just a guess for about a 1 pint size jar, so keep that in mind. You might need to mix a little bit more just depending on the size of your container. So this one here, I mixed a little bit of more purple red into the blue to make it a little bit more purple. And so I mixed that around, and then I did some light blue. These are the pasta jars that I'm just going to upcycle. So this one I did like a light blue, and then I added a few more drops of blue to the next one, and then a few more to the third one. So each one got just a little bit darker. So then I set them down on top of the cooling rack to drain, and or you can put those on those craft sticks. As you see, I have them sitting there draining on the craft sticks. Then I mixed some more of the Mod Podge, and I decided to do these little tiny candle votives that Dollar Tree sells in a 4-pack for $1. And I'm just going to do the same process. I clean them with the alcohol, pour in the Mod Podge that I've mixed with the food coloring, and then dump out any excess. Then let it drain for about an hour on those large craft sticks, or again, you could use the cooling rack. It's really up to you. Just make sure you have foil or something underneath of it to catch all the excess Mod Podge. So then I just wanted to try using a paintbrush to see how that would work instead of pouring it in. And I kind of like this method a little bit better. It was a little bit nicer not to get as many bubbles. I seem to have an issue with getting bubbles in my jars. Even though it didn't look like there were bubbles in it, I still ended up with bubbles. in them after they baked, and I'm not really sure what the deal was with that. So with the paintbrush, I painted it on. I waited about 10 minutes and then I put another coat on, and that was all I did for the actual paint. And you'll see it looks pretty thin there, but I think because the color was dark enough, it turned out really well at the end. So these are all just sitting for a little while once the excess Mod Podge has drained from the jar, which was about an hour. As you can see here, they're turned upside down, and then you do want to periodically wipe around the edge of the jar with a damp paper towel to get any excess off of the edges there. So then I'm going to bake mine at 250 degrees Fahrenheit. You can vary it to 225, 250. It's really up to you. You might just have to do it a little bit longer, and you'll just bake those slowly until they change color. And as you can see here, they're pretty easy to tell when they're done. You want to then cool your jars to room temperature before you decorate them. So I used some masking tape to tape off the bottom of the jars here. So 2 of the blue jars, I'm going to do the same. I tape off the bottom, add some Mod Podge, and then start adding some glitter. And I just slowly work my way around the bottom here. And then once it's all dry, if you want to at the end, you can seal over top of it with more Mod Podge to make sure the glitter doesn't come off. I actually just used hairspray to seal mine. So then at the top of the jar here, I'm just going to paint some stripes with the Mod Podge just to get a little bit of a different kind of decorative accent. I was just making it up as I went along. I really didn't have a plan in place here. I just wanted to see how they turned out, just playing around and being creative. So again, I just paint these little lines and fill it in with the glitter, and I did the same for the 2 lighter blue jars. So now for the darker jar, I taped off the top and the bottom, and I'm going to paint that with the Mod Podge, and then the extra fine red glitter here is what I'm using to color in the top and the bottom of the jar, because I'm going to be using some different stickers from the Dollar Tree that I would like to match the sticker, which is why I'm going to use the red glitter here. I thought it looked nice with the glitter at the top and the bottom. But really, you know, it's your jars, so make sure you decorate them to match your decor wherever you want to put them, or even if you're going to give them to someone, maybe, you know, paint them to match their decor and color them. There's a lot of fun to experiment with. This was the first time I've ever done this, so I thought it was just a lot of fun. I used the tape again for this one. Now, this is the one that I just used the paintbrush to paint the Mod Podge in the inside. As you can see, I had a lot less bubbles, but there is a little bit of streaking, so I don't know if I would have done a few more coats and let them dry a little bit, air drying in between, if that would have made a difference. But I really like the way it looked, just even with the little bit of streakiness to it. So it's really up to you if you want to try to let it air dry a little bit longer and paint a few more coats inside if you choose to use that method of tinting. Then I applied some Mod Podge and some glitter to the top and the bottom that matches the jar. And then once those were dry for about an hour, I went ahead and pulled off the tape. And I have a nice crisp line where the glitter is on the bottom of the jars. And then I pull the tape off of the blue and red one here. And now we can start decorating these a little bit more. So for the one jar, I'm going to just tie some twine to the mouth of the jar. And I just tie it in a knot, and then I wrap it around so I have the whole entire lip of the jar completely covered with the twine. And then once I have it completely wrapped all the way around, I just tie it back to that little excess piece that I left at the beginning. And I just tie that in a knot. So I really didn't need any hot glue or anything here to attach it. I just tie it together and then cut off the excess. So now I have these like sea stars and seashells on this sticker sheet from the Dollar Tree for the mason jars. So I just went ahead and added a few of the stickers to the jar here. And then just to add a little bit more to this jar, I used a few of the blue rhinestone stickers that they come in these little packs that the Dollar Tree sells. And I just added those around the jar wherever I felt that they looked nice. And that's the first jar finished. Now for this jar, I wanted to decorate it a little bit different. So I had these silver stickers that almost look like faux metal, and I got those at Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to use those to go around the top of the glitter here. I added some rhinestones to the top of the jar in a different pattern than the last jar. And then I added a few more of the faux metal stickers to the top and around like the middle of the jar. I just really like the way it turned out. Like I said, I was just kind of making them up as I went along and just trying different techniques of decorating. Now for the darker blue jar with the red glitter, I'm going to add these mandala stickers. Again, these are the mason jar stickers you can find at the Dollar Tree. And then these are the rhinestone stickers that I'm adding. What's really nice is the teardrop shape is actually connected to the little round rhinestones, so you can peel them off and you don't have to add them one at a time. It's nice that they're already connected. So I did those all around the sides of the jar in different patterns, added some rhinestones and pearls to the mouth of the jar. And I just love the way this turned out. I actually don't mind the bubbles either. I think it makes the glass look a little bit more aged. Now for the purple one that we painted, I just added some of the adhesive pearls, some more of the faux metal stickers around the edges there. And I had this bow from the Dollar Tree. It's just a gift wrap bow, and I just decided to go ahead and add that right to the center. Then for the tiny little votives, I just dipped the edge of the votive in the Mod Podge, and then I dipped it in some silver glitter, and I did that for all four. And here's what all four of those look like. And then some of the jars I just left as is. I didn't add any extra decorations once I added the color. I just love how these turned out. They were really a lot of fun to make. I loved waiting to see what the actual color turned out when they were done, because I really wasn't sure. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learning how to tint glass with me. If you enjoyed this video, please check out some of our other DIY videos. I use mainly Dollar Tree items, and I try to post those videos every single Thursday. And I post what is new at the Dollar Tree videos every Friday. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And here are some other videos from our channel you might also enjoy. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.